Next should be Chicago, because as you all know, Chicago is a killing field right now.
Everybody knows Chicago is a hellhole right now. Everybody knows it.
You know, he wakes up in the morning and whatever whim strikes him is what he apparently says. And recently, I guess I've been living rent-free in his head. Chicago apparently is living rent-free in his head.
In Chicago, everybody got to get down. Everybody got to get down because they shoot.
Liberals in Chicago have the privilege of being able to say that we don't need the National Guard here in Chicago.
All right, guys. So this weekend was going to be a tragedy. I knew it would be, which is freaking sad because it always happens like that. And if I know that, then that means that the children running the state and the city should know that. But instead, they play dumb, they act shocked, and they pretend like everything is fine. This Labor weekend alone, over 50 people were shot, 7 people were killed. That is not crime being down. That is not progress. That is a disaster. And yet Donald Trump seems to be the only one that even acknowledges that this problem exists. According to Brandon, he cries racism, or he says that the crime is down. Pritzker wants to hide behind the Constitution like it is his shield, trying to convince the American public like this chaos in the city is what the city wants. Absolutely not. These people are not leaders. They're literally babysitting criminals, okay? They encourage criminality because they live in their little kitty communities, safe behind money, private security, and gated mansions. So they'll never have to deal with it personally. It is disgusting. So let's not play games. Let's go ahead and take a look at what went down this past weekend.
Topping your news at 4:30, more than 50 people shot and 7 killed across Chicago so far this holiday weekend. Now, the violence is rising as conversations have been heating up about President Trump's preparation to possibly deploy the National Guard. CBS News Chicago investigator Tara Molina live for us at CPD headquarters. Tara, you found out that this weekend was, in fact, much more violent than it has been this time in previous years.
That's right, Marie. Significantly more violent, nearly double the shootings this holiday weekend than we tracked the last holiday weekend. And all of this as Chicago is under a very strong national spotlight. I asked police about that. You're looking at the scene of a mass shooting in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood early this morning, where police tell us 5 people between 17 and 36 years old were hurt. Recovering 4 guns from the scene, investigators are still looking into what happened. It's the 3rd mass shooting we've told you about this holiday weekend, with 7 people shot Saturday on South State Street, 2 women and 5 men hurt. Police say a shooter opened fire on a crowd from a car. And Sunday in Humboldt Park, 4 hurt in a drive-by shooting on West Haddon, opening fire from 2 cars, 3 women and a man shot.
And I actually want you guys to go ahead and take a look at one more clip just so you can see for yourself if we have a problem in Chicago. Go ahead and take a listen.
In Chicago, everybody got to get down. Everybody got to get down because they shoot. Everybody down. Look, these kids are running. They shooting. We can't have no fun in Chicago, man. No fun, man. This is terrible. I ought to throw a goddamn flag. Because this y'all neighborhood.
This might be over with, because I gotta figure this out, man.
Now you tell me, is crime down in Chicago? Do we not need the National Guard in Chicago? I don't care if it's the National Guard, the FBI, the Navy. I don't give a damn who it is. Something needs to be done about these criminals on the street. I am tired of the hood rat. And while we're at it, we can send ICE too, because I am tired of these illegal immigrants as well. They're changing the culture of Chicago. They have to go. And their anchor babies have to go as well. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am Carmen Jaycee. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like or the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, make sure you hit the super thanks or the buy me a coffee link below. Let's go ahead and get into it. So over the weekend, the not so amazing Brandon Johnson decided to write an executive order basically trying to block the National Guard or any federal help coming into Chicago. because apparently protecting criminals is more important than actually protecting citizens. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
He could change his mind. He could reverse course. In fact, I encourage him to do that. But still, we take these threats seriously, and we find ourselves in a position where we must take immediate, drastic action to protect our people from federal overreach. I'm signing an executive order today that will launch the Protecting Chicago Initiative. This is a project that builds on the months of preparation that we have done that has led up to this very moment. Protecting Chicago will ensure that every Chicagoan knows their rights, that every single family is prepared, and every part of city government is directed to protect the people of Chicago from federal action. This sweeping executive order directs our Department of Law to pursue any and every legal mechanism to hold this administration accountable for violating the rights of Chicagoans. This order affirms that the Chicago Police Department will not collaborate with military personnel on police patrols or civil immigration enforcement. We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president. This order affirms the CPD officers will be directed to wear CPD uniforms and refrain from wearing masks so that residents can clearly distinguish them from federal agents. And finally, as I said, it establishes the Protecting Chicago Initiative, the most sweeping campaign of any city in the country to protect ourselves from the threats and actions of this out-of-control administration. We will protect our Constitution, we will protect our city, and we will protect our people.
Now, as a Chicagoan, and even more than that, as an American, let's be honest about something. The criminals are winning. And as long as Chicago keeps these disgusting laws that repeat offenders get to walk right back onto the streets, nothing is going to change. Throwing money at the problem isn't going to help it. And to be clear, Brandon Johnson had $600 million to hand out to illegal immigrants. He could have put that towards actually protecting American citizens. But what did he do? He gave it to the illegals. Not to mention, he's protecting the very people who will protect him politically. And now the people of Chicago are going to be the ones that's paying the price. Our neighborhoods are changing, our culture is shifting, and it's all because the people who are supposed to represent us are more interested in erasing us. To be clear, the illegals have to go. Their anchor babies have to go. They are not American, and we need to fix American issues before we even think about worrying about problems of other people from other countries. But of course, that doesn't stop liberals from protesting, and of course, they're going to protest in the nicest of nice neighborhoods, not where the crime is actually happening. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
Hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
And at this point, I don't even have to say much because Christian Maxwell is going to say it for me. She's about to rip them a new one. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Liberals in Chicago have the privilege of being able to say that we don't need the National Guard here in Chicago. They have the privilege of saying that because they keep themselves in their careful bubbles of Lincoln Park, Wicker Park. They stay up in some of the northern areas and they go and frolic at the beach, playing volleyball and pickleball and tennis in these areas where it's clean, there's minimal crime. Of course you feel like we don't need the National Guard because you've never stepped foot on the actual south and west side. Elitist progressives and leftist white Chicagoans have the privilege of not needing the National Guard in order to feel safe in their communities. They walk out their door in the morning with their babies to go get a quick coffee and their kid on a scooter with a helmet. That's privilege. That's the same privilege that you claim you want to be a part of unpacking and getting away from. It's the yuppie white women in Chicago who want to scream about Trump being fascist, yet they keep themselves carefully, safely tucked away in Lincoln Park. Come to Woodlawn. And not the cute part. No, go past 63rd. Come to Auburn Gresham. Chatham. Inglewood. Get on your scooter there. And do it about 7 o'clock. Okay. If you're not going to do that, mind your business.
Christian Maxwell is absolutely right. These people don't go into the neighborhoods where the crime is actually happening. They carefully select where they protest in Chicago, much like myself. And listen, I don't blame them for that. However, the truth is they don't care because it's not their children. It's not their lives that are affected. And that right there is the problem. Now let's go ahead and take a listen to what actual Chicagoans are saying. Go ahead and take a listen.
It's just gone from bad to worse to disaster.
No one really feels safe. It's impossible to feel safe in a city like this, especially with the leadership we have.
These kids are carrying guns like around the ages of 8 years old, and they're killing other 8-year-old kids with guns. It's insane.
My opinion, not enough police officers. The police officers' hands are tied.
So the police is really unappreciated offhand under Brandon Johnson, Lori Lightfoot, J.B. Pritzker. Those are three are the reason why nobody want to be a police.
Their policies when it comes to crime is not working at all.
I think the biggest piece of the pie has to be more police officers, more protection. That's what the people want.
The problem with this state is we don't listen to the people. The people have clearly spoken, and the people are clearly recommending and wanting the National Guard to come. So maybe we should look at that as a sign that Donald Trump is right. Now let's go ahead and see where Governor Pritzker is with crime in Chicago. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
The president has had some things to say about the Windy City several times in recent days.
Next should be Chicago, because as you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now.
Everybody knows Chicago is a hellhole right now. Everybody knows it.
You know, he wakes up in the morning and whatever whim strikes him is what he apparently says. And recently, I guess I've been living rent-free in his head. Chicago apparently is living rent-free in his head, even though on other days he'll talk about Baltimore, he'll talk about New York. Notice he never talks about where the most violent crime is occurring, which is in red states. Illinois is not even in the bottom half of states in terms of violent crime. Indeed, we're in the best half of the states. So, but do you hear him talking about Florida, where he is now from? No, you don't hear him talking about that, or Texas. Their violent crime rates are much worse in other places, and we're very proud of the work that we've done, and we want more help. You know what kind of help we want? Civilian law enforcement help. We would like ATF agents to help us take more guns off the streets. We would like FBI, again, to coordinate with our local law enforcement to help catch perpetrators of crimes. If they would do that, we would welcome that, but that's not what they're planning to do. What they're planning to do is send troops into the city of Chicago, not because they want to fight crime, but because Donald Trump has other intentions.
All right, now, can we be real? This guy never wanted for a thing in his life. He was born rich, raised rich, and he'll probably die rich, okay? He acts like he wants to tax the rich, but absolutely not. He would never do that to himself or his family. And let's not forget, this man blew $200 million just to get himself elected governor. If that's not the richest thing I've seen, I don't know what is. So if he's really serious about fixing problem, why does he keep allowing children to constantly be murdered in the streets and then turn around and act like crime is down, like this is some type of good thing? Because deep down, he knows it will never be his children. His children will never walk these streets unprotected. His family will always have private security, whether he's governor or not, and he'll always retreat back to his governor mansion and his billionaire lifestyle. And I'd bet you, if I look into Governor Pritzker, his hotels and the chain of hotels his family own, they probably will allow illegal immigrants to work for them. And let's be clear, he probably benefits off this personally in some type of way when it comes to illegal immigration and his crappy policies. It is disgusting. Now, if you don't know, his family don't just have money. They own Hyatt, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So his kids and his grandkids, none of them are ever going to have to worry about crime in Chicago. None of them will ever live under the policies he pushed because the wealth shields them from it. We have to wake up to this, guys. It is so unfortunate. Now, you can argue that Donald Trump is wealthy too. Absolutely. However, here's the difference. Trump is actually trying to do something for the working class Americans. Trump always have been the person that he is. He's not hiding who he is. And he's not pretending to be the champion of the poor while cashing billionaire checks in the background. Trump puts his money and his power on the table to actually fix things. Need I remind you? Let's go ahead and take a listen to this clip.
Donald Trump has always loved this country.
I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country. This country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was.
He's always put us first.
I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. That's why it bothers me so much that when we give this kind of money to the wealthiest countries in the world, and yet for our own people, the homeless, the sick, the poor, the farmers who are really going through hell right now, those people we're not helping.
Donald Trump has always been there for America.
Somebody has to help this country. If it were me, that'd be fine. I could do it.
How would you like to be remembered?
Well, as somebody that's contributed something to the United States.
Donald Trump has always fought for America. And he always will.
Trump has always been the same person. He's been talking about the same America First ideas since the 1980s. And quite frankly, it is ridiculous to try to label him as like some type of dictator or horrible person when the evidence just says otherwise. Trump is an awesome president, and I think he genuinely wants the betterment of this country. He's America First. Look, Chicago, we cannot keep lying to ourselves. The city is out of control, and anybody saying crime is down is spitting straight lies in your face. It is gaslighting. Brandon Johnson can sign all the executive orders he wants. Pritzker can cry unconstitutional all day, but the reality is children are being murdered in the streets. Neighborhoods are collapsing, and the people in charge don't care. Okay? They've got money, they've got private security, they've got gated mansions, while the rest of us are stuck living with chaos. And that's why Donald Trump resonates with so many Americans, including myself, because he doesn't hide who he is. Meanwhile, these clowns running Illinois' leadership are selling you out for power, money, and votes. So Chicago, it is time to wake up. Actually, all of Americans need to wake up because Chicago is just the first step. We need to change in all of our crime-ridden cities, and we cannot let them gaslight us into believing red states are causing the chaos. We all know the truth. These cities are run by Democrats, and specifically, a lot of them are ran by Black Democrat mayors who do not care about the communities they claim to serve. All right, guys, we're going to get into some of you guys' comment. Meryl T says, "Hi, Carmen. Love your content. You are really doing the Lord's work. I grew up in Portsmouth, Virginia, the most violent town in Virginia year after year. So I hate when people say they don't want to help to reduce crime. I am a Black dude. I love listening to you. Black America is America, and it affects all of us. But white people can't really speak on it. So I appreciate you calling out your community. I agree with the other guy. You deserve a steak dinner, and I hope one day I can take you myself to a nice steak dinner. Until then, please enjoy." Thank you so much, Meryl T. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate your generous donation. And yeah, crime is a problem, and anybody that's saying crime is not a problem is a part of the problem. Let's see. Ty Shadows just sends coffees. Paul, I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm not going to try. Stay strong and don't ever give, Carmen. Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate that. I am so sorry I can't pronounce your name because, yeah. Kennedy Muirhead says, he doesn't say anything actually. FW Second says, "Keep up the great work." Thank you, FW Second. Tom Mello says, "Keep up the good work. Hope you get an opportunity to go on to the White House briefing one day." I'm not really interested in politics, weirdly enough, guys, but you never know. Someone doesn't say anything. Thank you, someone. Mark Slater says, "We have your back. Keep spreading the truth. Facts don't care about their feelings." I totally agree, Mark Slater. Thank you so much. You're always donating to the show. C. Jackson says, "Thanks." Thank you, C. Jackson. Jimmy Fung says, "Thanks." Thank you, Jimmy Fung. Carl Marshall says, "I am so proud that I can say I know an awesome, positive Black woman. You, Carmen Jaycee. Thank you so much for the truth and content. Keep up the good work. You are so welcome, Carl Marshall. I really appreciate you supporting the channel and just being here to be a part of the journey. I really appreciate that. Thomas Hemman says, thanks. Thank you, Thomas Hemman. David Penn says, thanks for your essential work, telling the truth that some people do not want to hear. Thank you so much, David Penn. I appreciate your generous donation and just being awesome. Quindy Eskimo says, thanks. Thank you so much, Quindy Eskimo. I see you. You always are supporting the show. Philip Brown says, thanks. Well said. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Philip Brown. Thanks just for supporting the show. Jacob Walker says, thanks. Thank you, Jacob Walker. Be More by Us Tech says, thanks. Thank you, Be More. Ronald Jones says, thanks. Thank you, Ronald Jones. Thank you guys so much. You guys are beyond amazing. And I appreciate every single one of you just for being here with me and allowing me to be myself. I am Carmen Jaycee. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you like this episode, make sure you hit the like or the subscribe button. Hit the super thanks for the Buy Me Coffee link below. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you. And I will see you guys next time.
Conscious culture, we awaken and we learn. Fire in our spirits, watch the system as it burns. Question every lesson, let the real truth return. We break the mold, and now it's our turn.